So, as far as the topic of free will, and I'm using my iPad here for some notes, when it comes down to it, some people think truth and free will are literally either wrong, a lie, an illusion, and that it does not exist. And other people, they're like, well, it does exist. And there are even Christians who say that, like, we should be slaves to Christ. And there's some very good points to all of that. I really do. First and foremost, let me pull this up here, make sure the volume's up. Ooh, not too loud. If you remember the part from Matrix, and I'm going to find that whole quote thing about illusion is control. Matrix, illusion, control. Illusion. Illusion of choice. There we go. I'm going to pull this. I'm going to play a small part of this. Give me a sec here.
He disappeared some time ago.
Created between those with power.
Everything begins with choice.
No, wrong. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without. Look there, at that woman. My God, just look at her. Watch, you see, I have sent her a dessert. Very special dessert. Like, you can see it, there he is. She does not understand why.
Alright.
Is it the one?
Anyway. Let's see if there's anything else here in the comments. Well, that's cool. Every time I watch The Matrix, I discover a deeper meaning, which makes me realize how deep the rabbit hole goes. 4 years ago by Charlie 2B D335. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, honestly, there's a lot of good stuff here in this scene alone. I'm going to link it down below. But in short, going back to what I was saying, truth and free will. I believe God wants family. I believe He calls us to be a part of His family, and that we have the choice to say no. The thing is, I see, this is kind of how I define truth and free will. Seeing what is wrong and being free from it. Being able to be free from it. To untangle yourself, to be able to see the red flags, the issues, the problems. To be free from it, to keep it away, and possibly to get resistances up against that. I mean, not just boundaries and all of that, and help in case you fall, in case you get stuck somewhere, but like, you know, building up resistances against all that. Not building up your tolerance per se. Now, don't get me wrong, you need to build up your skin and your tolerances to some of this, sure. That's going down a different road. If Jesus is the focal point, or the POV, the point of focus, POF, excuse me, you'll be free from what is wrong here and later in the future. Because here's the thing, being free now means you'll be free later in the future. You're not going to be bound, you're not going to be stuck, you will be further down the path that you need to be in your life. Now, for all Christians, we believe that path leads to Jesus and Jesus leads to God. That's the main difference between other faiths and religion, is that we believe things begin with Jesus and then end either at Jesus or God. I think sometimes Jesus is synonymous with God because of how the structure works. You really can't really approach God except only through one way. That's why the one Bible verse where Jesus says that He is the gate, you know, all go to the Father through Him. So in short, you're not really stuck in the sense of where you can't make choices. You cannot just live your life having someone else make the choices for you. Now, to a point, I think parents will want their best for their kid, but they're not going to, if they're decent parents, they're not going to try to like run their life for them. Back in the past, that was an issue, but it was tied to the way structure and the issues, the foundations, the structures. It was tied to a lot where the parents wanted the kids to succeed and unintentionally got sidetracked, and let other things pop into play, determining their actions. So instead of being concerned for their future and safety, they got sidetracked as far as like, you're going to be what I tried to be but was not able to be. And so that perception was pushed onto the kid. It's noted that as far as truth goes, a lot of Christians stay close to the Bible because we have trust issues with mankind as a whole. Generally, this goes back to self versus God. You know, are we going to be relying on ourself, our own strengths, our own abilities? Or are we going to, when I say rely, I also mean trust. Are we going to trust in that? Or are we going to try to trust in those who say, like, this comes from God, this comes from, the Creator, from the being who is perfect, who cannot make any issues, and who cannot make faults, who cannot be like humans. Like, there's so many different ways to spin that, but it all basically comes down to, like, God is not fallible. So you're going to come out and say, be like Paul from the Bible and say, I received this revelation, this personal revelation. I've received this understanding. Let me share it with you. Or you're going to trust other people who just try to like put their own spin on things and lead away from God. Someone like me, I try to like always say, this is my opinion. These are my thoughts, my understanding. And then just say like, here's the topic at hand, and try to keep it simple and try to share what I am seeing. A different perspective is always helpful. I know I've said that before in previous videos, but the end result, I think, is still the same. Your life is going to be better, and you're going to glean something of use. That's about it. Free will and truth. I'm not touching on the whole other side of truth where people are like, let me look up the argument so I can frame this right. Truth. One second. I can't remember. I'm looking this up and I'm not finding it. There's like a global truth. There's like, I'm not touching that big thing as far as like whose truth is the right truth. I'm not touching that. I will acknowledge it, but I'm not touching it. All right. Until next time. Well, stay tuned. It's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks as I figure out what to do and what else I need to do in order to move. I was not able to move this past week, so it's just simply playing the waiting game. All right, stick around. Hope you hope you drop some comments and leave some thoughts on this stuff so I can respond to them. All right, take care.